Here we go.
You really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Hey, motherfucker. What you like to do?
Oh, I don't know. Play chess. Screw.
Well, let's play chess.
They give off to Jonathan Taylor. Jump cutting his way. Close to the goal line. He's in there. Touchdown. I-N-D-Y. Jonathan Taylor.
Wheeler finds Quan from the logo.
Here's Halliburton into the front court. Mishandled it, but gets a shot. Hits it. Hits it.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, well, we can officially say as of tonight, it is back, can't we? The high school football season is officially underway. Coming up later on tonight, we have games across the Indiana landscape. We've got some incredible matchups. I always love hearing from you. I know a lot of you are going out to games. Coach Duggar down in Martinsville has already reached out. Give a shout-out to the Arties that had a renaissance season a year ago. Of course, I have to give a shout-out to the Arties, too, at the start of the show because they have a wolf on their team. And then the dad wolf runs the Dairy Queen. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. I don't think this is the deal that they have. Is it a winner, James? And if they win, does everybody get free blizzards? Probably not, but it's what happens in Martinsville. The Arties embark later on tonight. I believe their matchup is down in Morgan County with Bedford North Lawrence. But CG and Warren coming up later on tonight. That's on the east side coming up at 7 o'clock. You just look around, and there are games. Yes, you're asking about my team, Eastern Green. How could you keep yourselves away? And this is why I didn't have football at Eastern Green. We didn't have it yet. So they have it now, but we didn't have matchups with Springs Valley. Can you imagine now, if you have a matchup with Springs Valley, you can go down and watch the Thunderbirds probably get drubbed by 35. And then roll right over to the casino, literally walk over to the casino, spend the night at the hotel. That's a hell of a weekend. By the way, the owner of Dairy Queen in Martinsville, James, has just reached out. Half-price blizzards with a win for the Arties tonight.
There you go.
I'll take it. Half-price. Half-price blizzards with an Arties win. And believe me, that thing salted away because I don't know, does BNL ever win in football? I don't believe the Stars are very star-studded, so I think that's probably your destination location, everybody, later on tonight in Martinsville. That's awesome. Shout out to Ryan Wolf and his son Reese as a senior, especially after the year that they had a year ago in football, and Coach Duggar has done a great job down there. That is a reclamation project that is worth talking about for real, especially with the year that they had a year ago. Decatur Central is up a class on the road at Avon. I believe my good friend of Paradise Day Watson, Jeff Watson, is a part of the officiating crew at that one coming up later on tonight. We were having a conversation a little bit earlier today because it's weird, right? Have you guys noticed that we are exiting summer, unofficially, but exiting summer this weekend and then going into Labor Day weekend as we entered summer back in May? A couple of weeks of a lot of clouds and the weather, folks, and this is perfect weather. Don't get me wrong, perfect weather for high school football. But everybody telling us how it's going to be sunny and bright and great, and then you get stuff like this. And if you have a pool that doesn't have a heater, the overnight lows especially are going to get you. So we were discussing the pool temps for the Labor Day weekend party festivities at Paradise Day Watson. Man, Roncalli, Fort Wayne Dwenger, Concordia, Cecina, Franklin Central's got a lot of talent on that squad. Perry Meridian down on the south side coming up later on tonight. Homestead and Westfield, you know that the Rocks have another fantastic team. What has become just kind of a legacy history team on the southeast side. Lutheran and Attucks. Oh, Attucks got a really good running back on their squad. Lafayette Jeff, Chittard. We'll go over a lot of these, too, as Bob Lovell, again, has already reemerged on this show, and Bob's going to join us coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. We'll talk about night number 1 on the high school football Indiana landscape with Bob coming up. At the top of the 4 o'clock hour, also Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, not too far away from the openers for both IU and Purdue. Tom Dienhart will give us the Purdue and the Around the Big Ten angle coming up a little bit later on in the show as well. And hashtag Ask Pat, this may be the swan song, although I take that back. We'll do one more. We'll do Mystic Waters Campground next Friday with Pat Sullivan, as long as he can make it up there. Because next weekend is Labor Day weekend, and that is the Labor Day weekend bender at Mystic Waters Campground. That is in Pendleton with Brent Halverson. I think you know the dynamic there. I haven't told you about a lot of new things we are adding. One is Bob, who is the president of Win Schuler's Spreadable Cheeses. The Spreadable Cheese is back on this show coming up for the late summer and fall, and we're all here to rejoice. But Bob, the president, is going to officially ship us a crate of Win Schuler's because he wants plenty of video from our Labor Day weekend bender with Win Schuler's spreadability all over the place. And I mean in all varieties. All your favorites, including jalapeno pepper. That's coming up next. A crate. How much do you want? What's a crate? Do you have a crate? Send a crate down here. Part of the additions we're going to have to the Labor Day weekend bender, which will be coming up as well. All right, I know the one thing, I don't know if I'm bearing the lead on this. I know the Colts play coming up tomorrow, 10 a.m., the Colts pregame huddle with me and others. That's when we begin right here on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan coming up tomorrow morning. I guess for preseason game 3, there's just not, how do they normally say it? Not a lot of meat on that bone. Like, it would be one of the more interesting preseason games, I would think, if they were giving Anthony Richardson a shot to play. And believe me, I understand the tack they're taking, the decision that was made, but much like a lot of things that they do over there right now, I don't buy it. I don't believe it. You can't tell me that the guy needs reps, the guy needs time, he's not ready, and then when there is time for him to try to get ready, especially with a lot of things that they say are wrong with him, a lot of the reasons why Daniel Jones evidently wrestled that job away from him as the starter in the first place. I mean, all this stuff where you can get your team together. I mean, hell, you don't need to be starting mentality to do that. Just get your guys together. Get him out there and have him work. All right, so you're not playing against the number 1 defense of the Bengals. So what? See if it can show you any progress, or else be quiet about how he has to have more time to get ready, because we all know during the regular season he's going to get 0 time to get ready. And then he's just going to be thrust into a situation if Daniel Jones gets injured. So, yeah, there's a legitimate reason why we don't buy any of that. I would almost rather believe that it was because you don't want him to look good, because you don't want more of an outside debate going on in the 2 weeks leading up to the start of the regular season. Now, do I agree with that? Not really. I did like bringing that up. I thought that was kind of funny. I did like bringing it up. Do I buy it? No, I don't. But it just doesn't make sense. You keep this guy in bubble wrap his entire existence and then say he can't learn anything. Really, what you're probably telling everybody more than anything else is, well, this is just over. Now, here's why we're not jacking with it, is because it's not worth jacking with, right? How about that? We can discuss that. That could be it. But it would be much more worthy of discussion, kind of much like last week going into it with Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson, although I don't think the dynamic worked out as excitement-wise as anybody thought. I mean, you look back at last weekend, and I guess that was a huge determining factor against the Packers in that game. And, I mean, hell, they both looked the same to me. When one guy looked good, the other guy looked good. When the other guy looked bad, the other guy looked bad. Okay. So it was already determined the direction in which they were going to go, and believe me, that's fine. Hopefully that – I'm not even going to get too far ahead of the start of the regular season. Hopefully that leads to a Week 1 win, because if it doesn't, good luck with it. It's funny when you look at an opportunity. The Eminem song, and I haven't heard it in a while, the popular Eminem song was Lose Yourself. And I think for a lot of people that have that one opportunity to shine, I think they take some of the dialogue, the lyrics of that song to heart. You kind of lose yourself in that moment because you're not thinking about it. It's reactionary, going on instinct and not so much overthinking it, which can lead to other mistakes. Like, I thought going into that game last week, it was going to be one of those moments where one quarterback or the other would lose themselves. I don't think anybody got lost in themselves or lost in the game or lost in the position, lost in the decisions. I think it was already predetermined. I think that's also the biggest issue with Anthony Richardson. It probably would be better off if he got lost in it at some point and not just reacted to it. Or better said, not tried to be something that he's not. Which clearly the Colts are tired of whatever he is right now. But if you're going to ask me straight out, would you be more concerned about him getting an opportunity and playing, or being an insurance policy in case Daniel Jones gets injured? We know this to be true because we live in Indy. This is the Circle City, so one of your professional players is going to fall due to injury. There's just no way around it. That's just where we are. That may be the most noted absolute anywhere, is that at some point that's going to occur. Somebody's going to be injured. But again, I wouldn't so much be worried about that aspect of it. I'd be worried about, hey, you got time? All you do is talk about how he needs time. You got to have some time to work on it. And then when you have time to work on it, you don't. So, sorry if that should make sense to anybody. It doesn't, and it won't. And that part is absolutely true. But other than that, it's funny, you've got so many injuries on this team right now, which begs the question, how many big surprises will they be? Will there be because of that? Probably not too many. As far as making the team, having an opportunity to make the team, yeah, probably not too many. So we can discuss that at 239-1070 if you so desire. The text line is wide open, 317-239-1070. You can tell me via the text line where you're going for high school football tonight. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Other things you might want to add? For those of you that ask, I kind of put this to you back on Wednesday. I am James, going to go see the Black Keys on Sunday night because you guys recommended if I had the opportunity to go. I know like 3 or 4 songs. This is going to be the first band in a while that's like a band of today and not a band that was certainly more famous 35 years ago. The Black Keys.
So you only know 3 or 4 songs, you say?
Howlin' for You, Gold on the Ceiling. I may only know 2.
I know Gold on the Ceiling because it plays on
the ceiling.
We have a spot playing that has
Howlin' for You. Those 2 I know very well.
I think those might be the only 2 that I know as well.
So you guys will have to tell me if there's any other redeeming quality as to why I'm going.
Is this at Everwise?
It is at Everwise.
Nice.
Now, that is quality because I can park here and walk over there, and that's great, and it's not a hassle. Hell, last time I had a VIP pass at Ruoff, and I went in the wrong gate, and they go, well, you'll have to go out to go around. And I go, well, I'm already in here. Well, you'll have to give me $25. Well, I got a parking pass right here. Well, we can't use that here. Okay, thanks. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to give you $25 because I'm sure as hell not taking my ass back out of this place and then trying to get back in, okay? That's no fun. There are some things in this world, James, that you don't mind doing twice.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get in, back out, and then back into Rural parking in is not one of them, let me tell you. I'm not doing that twice. Just $25. Be quiet.
I think I'd be in the same boat
as
you.
I mean, all right, I'm sorry. I'm $25 to park in this cow field. But I'm not going back out and going around and having to repark again. But the thing about Everwise is how you can park here and then walk over there, and that's spectacular. They have done a great deal of work to that place, too. Looks outstanding. So you guys sold me on the Black Keys, and Doug Wiggin is going to take me to see the Black Keys. So I'll look for you coming up on Sunday, and I have no idea. I'm not going to promise you what condition I may or may not be in because that is a Paradise Day Watson. Even with the weather around 75 degrees and the pool temps hovering around 80, where I know this for sure, there will be incredible signs of shrinkage. There is zero way around high levels of Costanza shrinkage this weekend at Paradise Day Watson. It just can't be helped, but that's okay because there are other aspects of what we do, the fun, that will supersede worrying about Costanza-esque shrinkage. But you just can't get around it because this is what the weather has offered up around here, a bunch of garbage, a bunch of clouds, a bunch of cool. This is not what it's supposed to be like in the latter stages of August and going into Labor Day weekend. Never, ever. Joseph Fenton Faust chimes in with me enjoying the Black Keys. They're a great show. I like it. I've seen them at White River in 2010. Awesome at Bankers Life, too. All right, hold on a second. Will I be the oldest dude there? Will it be like Wooly? Remember I went to see Wooly, that EDM group, over at Mira back in November, and I was in line to go take a whiz, and the dude said, he pulled a bottle out of his pants and goes, "Hey, you want a drink?" Pops. So, and I was speaking in the third person, and I said, Pops would not like to take a drink of something you just removed from the front of your pants. Okay, okay. Pops is all right.
That's a good rule of life right there. Don't drink anything someone just pulled out of their pants.
You pulled this, well, and not only either the front or the back. Front or the back. But Pops. Will I be Pops at this show?
I don't think it would be.
You don't think so?
Well, you might be close to the oldest, but I don't know if it'll be as noticeable as like at an EDM show.
I've got a set list in front of me right here. Does anybody like the set list? Do you guys look at set lists when you go to shows? I do. I can't help it. I've got to navigate because of my small bladder when I go to the bathroom. I
go in blind.
So gold on the ceiling's very early in the set.
Okay.
Yes. Tighten Up is another song that I know. It's kind of midway through. And where's this Howlin' For You, dude? Howlin' For You must be the last song.
I would imagine, because that's their most popular, I think.
Yes. Oh, yeah, Cove says this, and you're right. I've heard really good things about Gary Clark Jr. He says, don't miss the Black Keys opener, Gary Clark Jr. He's the blank. I can't wait. Hey, Cove, if you're going out there, that means you owe me a beer. If you're coming up from Monroe County, you owe the host of this show a beer. And realize that. But thank you, guys, because it's of your recommendation as to why I thought, I'm going to go ahead and go and check this out. I know it's not Howard Jones or Toto or Christopher Cross. Actually, or Morrissey. Like, actually somebody that today's music. True story. DJ chimes in with this. Hey, JMV, I'm at the point that Steichen or Ballard just doesn't like AR personally. None of this is adding up. I don't think, DJ, they don't like him personally. They don't think he can play a lick. That's the answer. It has nothing to do with likability, because if it came down to that, he's a very likable human. At 23 years of age, he is a likable dude. But it has zero to do with that, DJ. They don't think he can play a lick. And with all of this, The only conclusion I can draw is that they're done with him. You're done. I mean, your quarterback's coach basically all but says it. Hey, I've done all I can do. You're done. And then you have an opportunity to play him for him to improve on some of the factors in which we're not throwing to, not even getting to the efficiency or lack thereof, but some of the pre-snap stuff that he doesn't do that you can work on against lesser players, and certainly on your own team with lesser players. You can work on all of that, but the excuse of you're afraid that Daniel Jones is going to be injured and he's one play away, nobody's going to buy that. You just don't like the guy in terms of being your quarterback. And listen, that is something I can understand. If they were just to come out and say, here's the reason why, because the guy can't play right now. Cut and dry. The guy can't play right now. His agent would freak out, but who cares? But that's, I think, DJ, what you reference here, them not liking him, it's not that at all. They just don't think he can play a lick. That is the final conclusion. At least to me. JMV, see the Giants quarterback room is at least fun, even though that they are bad. The Colts quarterback room is just boring and mid. Boring and mid. It is. Weight of love, according to Kevin Sage right here by the Black Keys. Weight of love. As in weight, the weight that it weighs. Not like, hey, I'm going to wait on some love here. Be looking out for that. Jeremiah says paying for parking in Ruoff is ridiculous. Jealous that you're going to see the Black Keys. Well, I didn't mind. I don't mind paying for parking, but I had a pass, and for me to have to go back out and come back in, if that was the solution, that was no stinking solution. All right, I'm just going to park over here next to this cow pile, and then I'll just give you $25 and walk over there. I will say this, at least they put porta potties on the way. I was like a mile and a half away, so my bladder was never going to hold that long, so I had to go and rock the porta potty. All right, let me take a break and come back. Pat Sullivan, bottom. I would advise you to get your questions in at hashtag AskPat. Either questions in, you can do it at 317-239-1070 on the text line, or you can call 239-1070, because I don't know if you have seen the prize pack, because you guys absolutely all get an arousal over free Yeti. This may be the ultimate free Yeti. We have not only a Yeti thermos, but we have a Yeti lunch bag right here. Who out there has a Yeti lunch bag? This is the first time we've ever given away a Yeti lunch bag. You could actually take like an old 25-year-old pair of underwear of mine and stamp Yeti on it, and people go, oh, I don't have JMV's 25-year-old underwear. I got to have that.
It's actually a nice-looking lunch
That's
bag.
an awesome-looking lunch bag. Now, it looks nothing like my lunchbox collection, but that is an awesome-looking lunch bag. First time ever we've given away a free Yeti lunch bag. So you got the numbers right here. If you want to call and get on the air, 239-1070. If you want to send hashtag AskPat questions, you can do that. Or you can send in a text question, 317-239-1070 on our text line. You guys got it? All right, let's have ourselves a Friday, shall we? I know we're all excited. Night number 1 of the high school football season. Bob Lovell's got you covered. North to south, east to west, coming up here in the 4 o'clock hour. Dean Hart regarding Purdue and the Big Ten. Don Fisher regarding IU. And maybe a trip to our table later on tonight to watch me drink beers. Who knows? Don Fisher in the 5 o'clock hour. Otherwise, you and I the rest of the way. Let's get this bad boy started today. The Harrah's Hoosier Park race of the day after 5. That's 50-50 in betting and dining from Harrah's Hoosier Park Racing and Casino in Anderson. And this is going to be the last time I'm going to be in studio stinking forever, by the way, on a Friday coming up today. So let's take advantage of it. Have some fun. Stream the app, HD Radio, the AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. One of the perks at Ruoff, the AAA Membership Lounge is outstanding. Become a AAA member today, especially with all this traveling you're going to be doing for the football season. Become a AAA member today. Sign up now, AAA.com. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Back with you next.
Make it fast. I'm in a damn hurry.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
This is Weight of Love by the Black Keys. Are these guys nerdy? Look at their pictures. Do they look nerdy? Yeah, far from me to call these guys nerdy. Look at what they're doing compared to what I'm doing. Weight of love. How about the weight of careers right here between me and the Black Keys, James? Who do you got? That's James over there, the Black Keys, coming up on Sunday at Everweiss. I'll look for you down there, too. I'll be a couple of beer, 6 and 9 beer, cocktails. Yeah, I'll be good. I'll know every song by the third song. Pat Sullivan's in studio right now with us.
Where is
Hashtag Ask Pat. What?
Where's the concert at?
Everwise Amphitheater downtown, which is an awesome venue.
Oh, is that White River Park?
Yeah.
Okay.
Allison Krauss was there last night singing her bluegrass.
Oh, I love that venue.
Yeah. I think, did
Great
she sing
venue.
Dooley like they did on Andy Griffith's show?
Right off the bat.
Dooley.
Right off the bat. You're going to ask me music questions.
Yeah, you don't.
No.
You don't know anything about Andy Griffith's show and Dooley,
I do.
the bluegrass?
Well, I do. Well,
Dooley,
I don't remember
stepping
that.
on the holler. Dooley, trying to make $1. Dooley, won't you give me a swaller and I'll pay you back someday?
I just
No?
remember the Mount Pilot girls. That's all.
Oh, yes. The Mount Pilot girls. The Fun Girls
Fun
is
Girls,
what they were
that's right.
called there.
Yep.
Hi, doll. Which one of the Fun Girls would you rather have?
I don't remember. I just remember
The one
them.
that called Barney Burney or the one with the voice that
Why do
sounded
you
like
remember everything?
that sounded like she smoked a carton of Winston's before the episode started?
I don't know.
No?
Flip a coin.
Flip a coin. Which one of the girls, the women of Mayberry?
Aunt B.
Come on, man. You know, back in the 20s, Aunt B was smoke.
Really?
Have you ever seen old school pictures of
I
Aunt
have
B?
not.
Frances Bavier?
No.
Have you not seen old school pictures?
No.
Yeah, in the 20s, Aunt B was rocking.
She's
So
a
don't
hottie.
bother knocking.
Okay.
True story. Pat Sullivan, hashtag Ask Pat. Get those questions in. I mentioned we have free Yeti, a
Yes, we do.
thermos, but we have a lunch bag. We've
Yeah,
never
so
given away a Yeti lunch
I know.
bag.
I was looking around thinking what would be different, and I saw the lunch bag. I thought, that would be different.
We love free Yeti.
It's
and
cool
free Yeti
because
lunch. You looking at her right now? She's smoked-ified.
She's good looking.
I'm going to tell you. What year? Is that picture like 1925?
It doesn't have a date on it, but it looks like it's the 1920s.
It's before time.
I mean, and all the women's pictures, if you're a model in like the 20s or the 30s, it was like straight out. Your cleave was like straight out. But no, I told you she was smoked back then. I've done the research, Pat. I've done the research.
I'm glad you got some time to do
I
that.
do have a little bit of time to do my Andy Griffith Show research.
Just
right
sit
there.
around and do that research. Hey, what is it you're complaining about the weather? I think the
Oh,
weather's
the weather
great.
sucks. This is not what it's supposed to be like.
It's been 90 degrees.
This is
plus.
October crap.
I'll take that.
We'll take October in October. We don't take October in August. It's unethical.
Oh, I have
Seriously?
This summer has been awful.
What?
Yeah.
Awful?
Awful.
Yeah, because the start of it sucked because it was cold, and now the end of it's going to suck because it's cold.
No, how
the
about
middle
the
of
middle
it's great.
of it was hotter than
Hot
hell.
and sweaty.
Oh,
look at this all
awful.
over tan that it provided me this summer. Look at me. I'm bronze more than George Hamilton. Look at this. Look at this before you.
Take a listener poll. I can guarantee you they are on my side.
All right. Let's go to it. 239-1070. Let's go to the text line. This summer of heat, when it was hot, when it was humid, great or not so great? Answer. Let's see what people have to say. They're going to agree with me.
I don't think so.
Think so. Hey, how was Eggfest?
Oh, wow. It was good. It was hot.
I bet.
You know what? It really, we were only off with everything going on in town, the Live tournament, the final weekend of the Great State, because we had moved our event.
Which is kind of like miniature golf.
Yeah.
That's what the Live tournament is, kind of to me, like miniature golf.
Yeah, I didn't know much about it, but I hear
Yeah.
it's pretty fun.
I think, did John Rahm win? Did he bank it off the windmill for the win?
I believe he did.
Probably so. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
And then he had the Colts game, of course.
Yes.
And that was about the only time you could sell preseason tickets if you're a season ticket holder.
Right.
Would be to a Packer game.
And because there was a little bit of drama going on at Colts quarterback, which I don't know how anybody ironed that out other than already having that preconceived notion that 5 can't play.
You kind of missed that one, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I think I whiffed on that big time. Yeah, I did. Thanks for pointing that out. You got anything else? Any other flaws you'd like to point out while you're in here?
Actually, I would. The question of, you say 5 can't play. What was the lead up to the draft that they thought 5 could play?
I'm assuming let's take this piece of clay and mold it into something special. I'm Shane Steichen, and I'm an offensive whiz.
Because he's a specimen.
I'm an offensive wizard. Morocco Brown says this guy is great. I mean, you get different stories. I heard that there are a lot in that room there that liked him, but there maybe was a couple, maybe one in particular that stood out and didn't. And at this point, the one that didn't, and Morocco Brown, who most heavily scouted him, is gone now. So, and Shane Steichen's the one that said he really wanted him. And you see, that's my biggest disappointment, is you have a guy, and you bring him in, and we're not talking about transforming him into, one of the great quarterbacks of the past. We're not saying he's going to be Patrick Mahomes right now, but you can't have this guy in year 3 in week 1 ready to start. That's how bad this is.
I know.
That's how bad this is. So I think that speaks more volumes really about this than anything else does with the story.
But you were a believer. You thought they were going to be able to get him ready.
For this season?
JMV.
No, I expected him to.
You
thoroughly
expected
him to. Yes, I thought, come hell or high water, because my point was, Pat, if he's not playing, as he's not going to as of right now, then why the need to bring everybody back? Hit the reset button. If he's not it, who is it? You don't have it.
No,
Go out
don't.
and get it. Start the clock. So now at the end of this year, you're going to have to refire a clock that you could have started with a reboot this last season. And that was my philosophy. If he is not going to play or not going to be the starter, why are we jacking with any of this? And here we are.
Here we are.
Hashtag Ask Pat questions. All right, let's see. Some of the answers are in regarding the weather. JMV, sorry, brother. As a construction worker, the heat sucked blank.
Thank you very much.
Troy in Kokomo says, I'm Troy in Kokomo. This guy says...
Wait, he didn't weigh in. He just said...
He just said it was this Troy in Kokomo. Weather has been nice and hot. We get enough crappy winter-type weather around here. I'll take the heat. See, Kokomo and I are on the same stinking page right here, Patrick.
That's just somebody sucking
Me and Kokomo.
Sucking up to the host.
Me and Kokomo, buddy. That's Howard County, right?
Howard County.
Howard County, Greene County, brothers.
They give out more speeding tickets right there on 31 than
I've never been to Kokomo
in
in my life. How about that? Because I've never been to South Bend, because I've never been to Notre Dame, because I don't like Notre Dame. How about that? I'm not a big fan of Notre Dame.
Really?
I have been to LaPorte once, but we didn't go that direction, I guess.
How come the hate?
I'm just not a big fan of Notre Dame.
You can not be a fan without.
I don't think I hate
them. It just sounds.
Did
like
I say I hate?
Yeah, the way it is. Like
I don't
I'm
hate.
never going to Notre Dame.
I don't hate anybody.
I won't even go up to see my grandma in South Bend
No, I
because
just
I'm
don't wanna
afraid
go
I
up
might
there.
see the Golden Dome.
Hot weather only good on the weekend when I can be on the lake or floating on the water with a beer. Mark in Brownsburg.
Yeah, so in other words,
that's kind of a half-ass like right there to me.
There's 7 days, 5 of them suck. He says he's on my side.
Hashtag Ask Pat for Pat Sullivan. Why do they sell brisket flats separate, but not the points? I have no idea what that means. Brisket flats separate, but not the points. Hashtag Ask Pat.
Don't know. Sorry.
Great answer.
That's a question. That's a question for our friends at Kincaid's.
Yes, it is. And I met that guy. I can't remember what his name is.
Joe, probably
yes,
Joe.
Joe. It was Joe at Taylor's a couple of months ago.
Yeah, good dude.
Great guy right there. Hashtag Ask Pat. More questions coming up just like this. Hashtag Ask Pat at 239-1070. When is the best time to reseed bare spots in the fall?
Thank you. Something I can answer. If right now is the time to start killing some weeds, if you need to get rid of some weeds, and then you want to have your seed down by the 3rd week of September. A lot of times people think that seeding is kind of an October and even early November thing. It really isn't, because the the roots need to establish themselves. So try to get it in by the 3rd week of September.
JMV, I guess the heat was okay if you were a cactus, Bo and Indy.
Thank you very much,
I
Bo.
do have some cactus qualities.
Thank you, Bo.
Bo, thank you very much. Litzy writes this. Here's a question for hashtag Ask Pat. Will I hurt the grass at Mystic Waters if I sleep on it 3 nights in a row during the weekend bender with JMV?
No.
No, it'll be fine.
As long as you have a good turf-type tall fescue, you're A-OK.
A-OK.
If you have fine rye,
you
may want to roll around a little more.
My man Litzy is going to have a great weekend, I predict.
Yeah, that's because it's nice and cool out. And
yeah,
you got
great.
some fall-like weather.
Hot and sweaty.
Maybe start like
hot, sweaty, and shirtless.
No.
Hashtag
That's
Ask Pat.
disgusting weather.
What's the best bait to lure some rogue raccoons into a live trap cage? They keep getting into my trash. Thanks. That's Heath.
You know what? The raccoons, are pretty easy with, I would say, either a half of an apple with a little peanut butter on it. They would like that for their last meal.
25 raccoon possum combinations that Paradise Day Watson has live trapped, and then taken them across the White River on the other side of the bridge and dumped them out.
Really?
True story. 25.
And
Jeff Watson, everybody, live trapper.
How does he know that they can't get back?
I don't know. They could cross the bridge, I guess.
That's what I'm saying.
Do raccoons swim?
Not very well.
Possum never look like they know what they're doing. They just kind of, I mean, why do possum look, We have like people walking around here that are similar to that.
We have a listener that had a pet possum.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've seen that before too. That's
and I'm
really
telling
weird.
you what, he probably was your mom. No, your mom likes the raccoons.
Oh, yeah. Well, she used to feed them cookies, but now there are dogs around there, which I hate. So that's a problem. Hey, I do have a question.
Yeah.
Hashtag Ask Pat from me. What's this whole armadillo trend that's happening in the state? Is that true?
Yeah.
Do we have armadillos infiltrating the Hoosier state?
I don't think in a big way.
Okay.
But that Denny Smith was on that last week, and as soon as it started talking, I didn't listen.
Yep. Oh, really? See, the reason why I asked, because somebody had a picture on Facebook the other day. One was like running through the parking lot at Walmart in Spencer.
I think those are transplants.
And I just thought it was because it was Owen County. I thought maybe it was just a really big cockroach.
No.
With a tail.
No, it's a thing. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure the origin.
See, we've asked 5 questions, and you didn't have an answer for 2 of them.
Well, you know what? You're asking the wrong question.
An armadillo is a good hashtag Ask Pat question.
That is not an Indiana question.
Here's one for you. Hashtag Ask Pat. Brandon Reef, his wife, Pat, wants to know how soon she can get and plant mums. Mum's the word.
Mum's the word. If you want to try to bring back the mums and use them as a perennial, then you want to get them in the ground ASAP.
ASAP.
Because the sooner that they can establish roots, the more likely they are to come back. If you're just using them as an annual, you want to make sure that when you buy them with a tight bud that's just cracking, rather than the ones coming out of greenhouses that are full blown.
Yeah.
Because you want to get the extended life.
You got time to hang for a little bit here too?
Yeah. And by the way,
yes,
you got the quarterback thing wrong. That was just one question. Don't be coming down on me, pal. He had one question. You got it wrong.
Yeah, let's go ahead and steer this the other direction here. Hot and sweaty and shirtless sounds like the title of JMV's autobiography, Colin Greenwood. Hot, sweaty, and shirtless. It's going to suck when I got to start wearing shirts full time again. Know what I mean? JMV, now that the temperature is not in the 90s, it's okay to put down liquid weed killer. If so, how long do we have to wait to put it down? Thank you. Hashtag Ask Pat.
The best time to kill weeds is in the fall anyways, because movement is down towards the root. So you have plenty of time to kill weeds with liquid weed killer, which is what I prefer to use. But you're right. Be careful. You really haven't been able to use it very often because of the temperatures above 90, and then you can actually damage your desirable grass. I
got 2 other questions. I have 8 pounds of flounder I'm going to grill tonight. I'm going to have questions on my preparation.
Okay.
And I also, remind me of this, I've got a pool question. Do they have heater rentals for Labor Day weekend?
heater rentals.
Pool heater rentals. Think about that for a moment. And J-Lo wanted to tell you about Sucker Punch. That was your recommendation.
Sucker Punch.
Of a couple of weeks ago. We'll get into that.
Yep.
Pat Sullivan returns. Free Yeti. A lunch bag for the first time and a thermos. Free Yeti at hashtag AskPat. If we take your calls at 239-1070 or your text messages, you could win that free Yeti. Hashtag AskPat. Night number 1 of the high school football season. Bob Level, top of the hour. Both IU and Purdue football conversation along with the Big Ten. That and more coming up on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. The JMV Takeover, 6 until midnight on B105.7. This is Def Leppard and Animal, James. Speaking of animals, raccoon live traps, possum live traps. So in a couple of years, hashtag Ask Pat, are we going to be live trapping armadillos?
You know what? Let's hope not. I think that is an isolated incident.
Those raccoons eat your sweet corn, don't they?
We can't have a lot of different things. You know what? People are really at war. People say that it's us because we've built into their area, but where I live, it's like.
Did the raccoons stake their claim to that area?
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, we now have. I saw a coyote the other day in my backyard. We got deer now.
I told you, I've got a groundhog under my deck.
Those things are huge.
Oh yeah, he gets up all the time on his back legs.
It just goes.
I ate a piece of sweet corn and actually I eat it on the back deck and then throw the cob out in the backyard. I think he was digging on that a little bit. He liked it. So.
And you talk about your mother.
Hey, how should I prepare? I have 8 pounds of grilled flounder tonight. Do I just slap that bad boy with Old Bay and say, see you later? How long do I put that on the grill for it to be enticing? I don't want to make myself sick.
I would go lower temp.
Lower temp.
And then I would probably make a basket out of tinfoil.
Okay.
Kind of so your sauces and stuff will kind of marinate as it goes in.
Okay, because that means I won't lose it on the.
That's correct.
Right.
That's correct.
So I got it.
Yep. And then, but I'm not sure what that temp's at. But
do you like flounder?
I'm not sure
flounder.
that I've ever had. Where'd you get flounder from?
I bought it. It was really cheap. It was like $4.80 for 2.5 pounds at Kroger the other day.
Really?
And I saw it, and I went, I'm going to get it. I got about 4 bags.
That is good.
A lot of flounder. You like mahi?
Do you go to the grocery store a lot?
A lot.
Do you really?
I do.
I haven't been in
years. I have
endless
amounts. I bet I go 2 and 3 times a week to get cottage cheese. Because that's really all I've eaten. I haven't had a grain or anything in months.
So
I eat cottage cheese and yogurt.
You should start introducing some other food.
Probably should. I'm thinking now that there's probably an opportunity. Anybody's ever gained weight by eating too much cottage cheese and Greek yogurt?
I don't think that's possible.
You don't think it's possible?
No.
Might be, buddy. It might be. No. All right. Does anybody know of a rental system for a pool heater? Can I rent pool heaters? Do you know?
I am not aware of that.
Who does your pool? Do you know? Who does your pool?
Who does my pool? A guy named Dave.
Dave.
I really don't know that. But let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Whose pool is this?
It's Paradise Day Watson, Jeff Watson's.
So why it should be plenty warm.
Overnight temperatures make it cold.
But remember,
they have heater hooters and a cover.
Water is the last thing to
It doesn't
cool
bother
down.
me, but for the younger kids, it makes them.
What temp is it at?
Right now it is 80. But they like it to be 87 or 88.
You just need to suck it up.
I do suck it up, but I'm just for the kids.
Here's what I would do. I would just get some firewood and just throw lit logs in there.
Okay.
That ought
to build a fire on the side of it.
Sure.
239-1070, Pat Sullivan, and my friend Fulton has a question for Pat. Hello, Fulton.
Hello, John. Hello, Pat.
Hey, Fulton.
Today's my Grandpa Bob's 85th birthday today.
Grandpa Bob is 85.
Shout out to Bob.
So anyways, Pat, we've been getting some mail today, and they were saying about our grass or something, like they keep coming over here and sending us papers in the mail for like grass or something.
Probably
so what should we do?
Lawn care companies, I would imagine.
Oh, lawn care companies.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fulton. Good to hear from you, buddy.
Yep.
Hey, John, I forgot to tell you.
Okay.
I'm going to be in Singing in the Rain.
That's what I heard.
I'll be performing. Let's see, what's it called?
Hey, I want you to learn. You need to learn this,
that's
Fulton.
For me. That's
Fulton.
for me from the State Fair in 1945.
Oh, that's right. You told me that.
My favorite rain song, Fulton. I want you to listen to this sometime. Orange Juice Jones and the Rain, 1986.
Okay.
Listen to that,
What
okay?
is it? I can
Request
get
that tomorrow
I can get
night.
that.
Orin Juice
Jeff
Jones, The Rain, 1986.
Okay. Yep, and I've got my softball game tomorrow, so
Okay.
I got to get ready for that.
See
I
you,
promise
buddy.
you're going to love this song. Thank you, Fulton. You're going to love that song. I saw you and him walking. And you ever heard that, Pat?
No.
Great. Where are you guys tomorrow morning? Home and Garden Show.
You know what? We are in Carmel at Nature Spire.
Nature Spire. What is this place?
You know, they do. They can do like
nature stuff.
Yeah. Well, if you want to do house plants, like a wall, like a living wall,
like the roof of a Carrabba's Italian
they do
restaurant?
all kinds of things. I think they do containers for you. They'll come out and do your containers.
Can I put some ivy and weeds on my roof like they do at that restaurant, that Italian restaurant? Is it Carrabba's that has the stuff on top of it?
Yeah, okay. That was their tagline. We have a garden on our roof.
That's why we're so expensive. We've got a garden on our roof.
That's right.
Yeah. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. We got to run here, James.
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Thanks, John, for having me in early.
You got it, buddy. Hashtag Ask Pat. Somebody's going to win free Yeti, a lunch bag for the first time, and a thermos, too. And I know you're on the inbound to your favorite high school football team. Bob Lovell documents night number 1 of the 2025 high school football season. Bob joins us next.
Pay that man his money.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
This, if Fulton is still listening right now, is Orange Juice Jones and the Rain. You tell me, especially anybody near, before, after my particular age, you tell me that this is not a top 20 song of the decade of the 1980s right here. You got to love it. And there's some weird stuff at the end being said you couldn't say today, lyrically speaking, but this is great. Turn it up, James. Orrin was getting cheated on, and he was pissy about it. Of course, he was also stalking, which wouldn't fly at all today. How much, if anybody knows this song, please document it, 317-239-1070. How many things in this song would not be tolerated for 5 seconds today? Because there is a lot. Especially the line, I felt like whipping out my jammy and flat blasting both of you. Probably wouldn't work today. Just saying.
I see the line. My first impulse was to run up on you and do a Rambo.
Do a Rambo and
oh
whip out my jammy and flat blast both of you. But, instead, I chilled.
Instead, he chilled.
Yeah, I chilled. And then I went to the bank, and I took out every dime. Then I canceled all your credit cards.
Saw something about waiting in the waiting room for them or something. Oh, my God.
Oh, man. Where'd Mike Weiner go here? Is Mike Weiner, the Pacers assistant, leaving? Did I see that a little bit earlier? I got to get to Bob Lovell in just a second because Bob is patiently awaiting all this ridiculous dialogue for me to get him on. The Pacers say we have mutually agreed to part ways with assistant coach Mike Weiner. Well, I thought he turned down the Knicks last week and he was going to be back. I don't know too much about Mike Weiner. He just looks like he is a very calming influence and worked really well on a coaching staff, which was great. That is, if for nothing else, certainly consistent. Mutually agreed to part ways. That never sounds great. What happens when you say mutually agreed to part ways? Normally, you think that's more he got a job that he couldn't refuse someplace else? Or that sounds like that those that employ you are pissy and trying to say something nice as you leave.
Yeah, it kind of does give off the impression that maybe things aren't all great, but
I'll ask somebody over there at the Pacers, and they'll get back with me around September. Meantime, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, we'll get into that coming up in just a bit. Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk, night number 1 of high school basketball. Hello, Bob. How are you? High school football, I should say.
How are you?
Yeah, high school basketball comes up in November. Yeah.
Week 1 right now.
All right. Where do we start? Is it Center Grove and Warren Central on the east side? Because that is outstanding. I sent a text out to Coach Moore a little bit earlier. Incredibly happy he's still back and a part of it, too, and has another great team there with CG coming back this season, doesn't he?
You know, yeah, they are very good. The always great matchup between them and Warren Central starts out. You talked about it being at Warren. So on this first week, conferences, well, you know, especially like 6A, it's one of those weeks where you're not in conference play yet. You have 2 games out of conference, and so you're trying to schedule some great matchups. And that's a perfect example of what's going on tonight. I mean, you know, Brownsburg's playing a team out of Maryland. I mean, the Center Grove Warren Central matchup's a great one. Lawrence North, Lawrence Central, HSC and Carroll out of Fort Wayne, Fishers and Carmel. How am I doing so far? Ben Davis, Cathedral.
Yeah.
These are some great matchups. Cathedral again, Ben Davis. So it's a special night tonight and next Friday night. You know, those opportunities to play out of your conference before you get into it.
Well, let's start here. You mentioned this, Carmel and Fishers, and there is a familiar name lurking on the sideline of the Greyhounds this season, that of Kevin Wright, Bob.
Well, it's great to have him back. I mean, you're talking about coaching royalty in our state with his father, Bud, winning his coaching history, and with Kevin, state championships. He is as good as it gets coaching wise. There's no question. It's great that he's back in Indiana, a chance to be back where he's had tremendous success, and so yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, Fishers and Cardinals a great matchup anyway.
Yeah.
But that added drama kind of makes it even better.
Yeah, Carmel 3-7. You know that's not going to fly up there in Hamilton County at all. So we'll see if Kevin Wright can infuse enthusiasm and winning once again, as he has done so much in the past in his career. I did want to ask you, Brownsburg. I think in some polls, I don't know how official this is. Start the season, whatever. Is ranked number 1 in 6A. Spalding, Maryland. Now, Spalding still makes athletic wear. I know that in basketballs.
Right.
Spalding was the name of Judge Smale's nephew, grandson, I should say. Grandson.
Right.
Do we know anything about Spalding from Maryland and their high school football program at all?
Not at all.
Not a stinking thing, Bob.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's an opportunity to see some people you've never seen before go against a different system. I'm sure they're an athletic team and a talented team, and so it's a kind of a fun way to start your season out. It's kind of unique, and why not do it?
So we have a battle to start the season in Larry Township. Lawrence North, Lawrence Central coming up. I think we know about LN. Going to be as top-notch as anybody, certainly in 6A.
LN is the team that can win the championship, John. I mean, they really are. They were playing as well as anybody last year at the end of the season. A lot of those guys are back. Lawrence Central, I think, is still kind of in that building stage, but LN is for real. That's a big battle, obviously. Normally, they don't play that first week, but I think because of some schedule situations, it necessitated playing it on opening night. So even more drama, if you will, because of the battle for Lawrence Township.
So Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk has you covered on so many different angles coming up later on tonight and tomorrow night as well. Again, the first week of the high school football season is officially underway later on tonight. Cathedral, Ben Davis. So Cathedral moves back down to 5A. Ben Davis obviously still in 6A, and that is a Friday night number 1 matchup too.
There's a lot of history, obviously, between these two schools. Cathedral is really, really good. Ben Davis ranked number 10 in 6A. Cathedral ranked number 2 in 5A. I mean, the rankings, I think they're accurate. I think they're right on with how good both teams are. So what else do you need between these two schools? You just know that it's going to be high-level football played this one out on the west side of town tonight.
The introduction of Decatur Central, a champion in 5A a year ago that moves up with the success factor to 6A, and they get started out on the road in Avon coming up this evening.
Yeah, I think Decatur Central clearly can compete in 6A. They're really, really good, obviously, in what they do. Coach Enright has a lot of guys back from last year's team, most notably their quarterback Bo Poston. So look, Avon coaching change, going through a little transition, but it's a Decatur Central team that I think can go a long way in the 6A tournament this year.
So Bob Lovell has Indiana Sports Talk for you. New Pal, 5A, should be interesting because you got 1 and 2. New Pal in 5A, Cathedral in 5A. As previously mentioned, it's certainly at some point in the season when it really matters, these two teams are going to meet up. But you've got some heavy-duty squads, maybe not on the same level, but in that top 5, including Maryville, Bloomington South, and East Central in 5A, Bob, as well.
5A is a really balanced class, John. You mentioned them. New Pal, Cathedral probably start out as your two best, two favorites, if you will. Bloomington South, as you point out, is good. East Central has a lot of guys back. I would pay attention to Lafayette Jeff if I were people. I think that they're a wide open kind of offense. They're pretty good. Snyder has had great success. Warsaw, Chittard. It's a team people obviously always need to pay attention to. So I just think it's a situation where There's a whole lot, Chittard's 4A. It's just a lot of things going on, but 5A is as competitive as any class in the state, John.
All right, Bob, you mentioned Chittard in 4A starting out number 1. They have a night number 1 matchup with Lafayette Jeff, which I believe in 5A is number 6. So you get a challenge. Really, both squads get a significant challenge in that matchup right out of the gate.
There's no question. This is at Chittard. Should be I'm sure it's probably sold out already. As I mentioned, Lafayette Jeff is a team that can put the ball in the air and make a lot of things happen. Chittard is Chittard. They're as fundamentally sound as anybody. Have had a tremendous amount of success at whatever class they're playing in. And so, talk about a great matchup. Find out what your team's all about on the very early on. That's one of them.
All right, I know this to be true because Ryan Wolf, an owner of the Dairy Queen in Martinsville, has suggested when the Arties win, half-price blizzards after the game. Number 6, Martinsville, and we've talked about this before, Coach Duggar's team coming off a renaissance season that of a year ago, going 12-2. They get Bedford North Lawrence coming up later on tonight, but in 4A, starting out number 6, how good are they compared to what we witnessed a year ago?
I think they're very good. I think, obviously, you've had some changes in personnel-wise, but I think they're a solid team. Tradition is what's big about them. This is a very storied program, as we all know. Coach Duggar's done a fantastic job, and so success they had last year. They're very. I think they have an opportunity to do a lot of the same things that they did a year ago, and B&L will give them a challenge, but it's at Martinsville, so. Mr. Wolf may be pouring some extra ice cream tonight.
Ron Colley, how about the Royals and Dwenger tonight in 4A, right down here on the south side? How you feeling about that one, too? And really, they get a home game to the Royals, and then you go on the road at Franklin Central, and you get Chittard coming up after that. So it's going to be no rest. You get started out tough, and it's going to be difficult.
Right. Dwenger, obviously – again, this first week, John, gives teams like Dwenger and others from the Fort Wayne area to come down to the central part of the state and play some teams they might not normally get a chance to play and, find out some lessons about their football team so that you have that dynamic, that part of it that makes it such a great matchup. And, I think the Royals, really trying to get back to where they were 2 or 3 years ago, and I think they've got a chance to do it. It's a good Dwenger team. It's a typical type Dwenger team. Fundamentally sound, some athletic kids who can make some things happen. And so it's a great opener without question.
I do dig this. Danville and Gibson Southern on night number 1. I don't know how you think, and you get a familiar name, last name especially, Nick Hart of Gibson Southern with all that incredible success, and that is a night number 1 challenge for both of those teams.
Well, both of them are pretty good. I mean, Jamie Comer's group had a great run a year ago, and disappointed that they didn't get a chance to play for the championship. A lot of those guys are back. Gibson Southern, as you pointed out with Coach Hart, has made a tremendous run. They like to throw the ball. It's going to be an interesting matchup in that sense because these are two teams that have a lot of guys back, had great success a year ago. And again, one of those out of your area type of games that makes it even more intriguing.
Yeah, Gibson Southern, by the way, number 3 in Class 3A. Lures, Evansville Memorial, Gibson Southern, Lawrenceburg, Evansville Mater Dei, the top 5. When you get 3, 2, and then Class A, you start factoring in a lot more of the Southern Indiana football programs, and one that has been as successful and consistent as anybody in 2A would be that of the Miners of Linton. They are on the road at Corbin, Kentucky. Wow, Greene County meets Kentucky. Never has there been anything in my life more appropriate.
Well, listen.
They're probably all related, I would imagine.
Clinton Stockton is really, really good. Coach Oliver's group has played well. His son is one of the best players in the state.
Yeah.
And it's a tremendous way, again, to get out geographically and find out a little bit about your football team. find out what you need to work on before you find yourself in the middle of conference play. And this is one of those perfect examples of it. But I think the Miners, I think they'll make a definitive run for the championship. I think they're that good.
James, look up Corbin. Is Corbin, Kentucky, somewhere between like Lexington and on the way to Knoxville? Is that where? Do we know where Corbin, Kentucky is? Because when you travel by stagecoach, it may take a while to get down there. I'm thinking, James, where is Corbin, Kentucky? Where do the Miners have to go from Greene County? What's the
Corbin looks like it's in the southern part of the state. It's south of Lexington.
South of that's what I thought.
It's in between London and Williamsburg.
Wow,
I hope they left last night.
Is it? Yeah. Well, here's a good part about it then. Everybody in central Greene County now around Linton will be able to go down to what's the place in Tennessee where everybody goes? Like Dollywood or whatever that is? What is it? Yeah. They get to go down there afterwards, too. That's on the way, right, to Knoxville, I think. Corbin, Kentucky right there. So Kentucky and Greene County with a high school meeting coming up later on tonight. You know, I mentioned this also a little bit earlier as well. You got a lot of factors in here, especially a team like on the southeast side of Indianapolis, the success we have seen from Lutheran and a program that seems to always kind of find it, especially athletically speaking, in whatever they're doing in Addicts. I think that's a really interesting matchup later on tonight for Lutheran. Lutheran and Addicts, as Lutheran is 2A number 3 to start the season, Bob.
I think it's a great matchup in a sense that these are two local teams. Lutheran had many, including me, thought they had a great chance to play for a championship a year ago. Dave Pash's teams are always good. I think Addicts has gotten better and better with their football team. Their basketball team, as we know, is tremendous, but their football team is getting better. I like the fact that they're challenging themselves with this move to play Lutheran. I think it's great for both schools. I think it's great for football in Indianapolis and Central Indiana. And it's one of those types of matchups you don't get a chance to do in your schedule because of conference play. So you got one of these opportunities. I think it's cool that both schools decided to do it.
You always ask, and I'm going to beat you to the punch here. Eastern Greene, the Thunderbirds, 4-7 a year ago, trying to improve on that. Likely not going to happen, but they travel to number 8 Springs Valley. And the really good thing about it is, win or lose, you still go to the casino afterwards if you're a parent, which is literally right across the road.
Right.
That's glorious. Right. Yes.
I'm told by everybody down in that part of the state that the Valley's really good. It may be one of their better teams. They had a great run a year ago. A lot of those guys are back, and they believe this team can make a legitimate run for a 1A championship. That's the cool thing about it.
Sean Nykirk is the first-year head coach at Eastern Greene. I don't even know who that is.
Well,
do you know? Let's see where this guy was.
First year, I do not know. I'm embarrassed by that.
No, that's okay, because I don't even think John Harrell does. It says we don't know who this guy is either.
I just think if Eastern Greene's prominent alumnus would step up financially and help out, I think it'd be very worthwhile for everyone.
I'm trying to get down there and help Jamie Hudson, the basketball coach, and be a part of their golf outing coming up in a couple of weeks. But it's always on that pesky Saturday or on the weekends, really, especially the weekends starting in September. It's tough on me, Bob Lovell, just like the weekend nights are tough on you, my brother.
Weekend nights at the Lovell House.
Yes.
Yeah, my wife has learned for over 50 years not to expect me. So you know how that goes.
I know. Springs Valley, North Knox, North Davies, Mitchell. How about Eastern Pekin? The Battle of Easterns on September the 19th right there. That's nice.
Nice matchup.
Paoli, North Decatur, Linton, and North Central. That's a heavy schedule. Yeah.
That's a schedule. No, that you talk about challenging yourself. Those the people they're playing are pretty much winning records from a year ago, and a lot of guys back.
Yeah, I feel bad. Sean Nykirk. I clicked on his name here, and it says, "Yeah, hey JMV, we don't know who this guy is either."
Come on now.
You got to bring that back. Bring back the glory.
There you go.
The glory. The Eastern Thunderbirds. All right, you hit the airwaves tonight, tomorrow night. What time again, Bob?
9:30 to midnight.
Year number what?
32. Who's counting?
My friend, you are incredible. Do we have any pre-show dinner plans tonight down in Franklin?
You know what, John? The pre-show plan is we go on Friday nights. This is living in a small town. You can appreciate it.
Yeah.
We go to the American Legion, and they have open to the public on Friday night, and we know the cooks and everybody. So I'll go down and grab that and come home and eat with my wife, and our grandson's here. We may try to convince him to stick around for dinner and
nice.
have a little bit of fun. Yeah,
that's a good
plan.
time. What do they serve at the American Legion down there?
Never know, John. It's just you
roll in there and it's whatever at the mercy of the cook.
Pretty much. That's it.
They got any bingo playing or anything like that too? While you're
I don't
in there?
know about. Not while I'm there.
Okay.
No, but it's the food's great. People are great. So. That's a big time night for the Lovell family here in Franklin.
My brother, we love you. You know that. Love you. Love the show, and just a tremendous job as usual. And we'll do it every week and see what happens coming up later on tonight. And again, your hub of information across the state of Indiana for night number 1 of high school football. Bob Lovell and Indiana Sports Talk. Thanks, Bob.
Have a great weekend. Thanks for calling me.
Bob Lovell, Indiana Sports Talk on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I'm going to have to look up Sean Nykirk because I don't know who he is. But I'm going to tell you what, that is as hard a job as you're going to find anywhere. So he clearly pulls up with his you-know-whats in a wheelbarrow right there because that is a hard gig. You've got to be some kind of tough to do that. You just do. So, nice place. I love it. There's no doubt about that. The resources just aren't football-like. Not a lot of monetary factors in there. So, good luck to Coach Nykirk and my Thunderbirds, James. Quick break. We'll come back. Tom Diethard talks Boilermakers. Don Fisher, IU, top of the hour. Stay right there. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
The cream, yeah. The cream of the crop. And there is no one that does it better.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, we now know the book on Corbin, Kentucky over here, James. Are you ready? You are correct, JMV. Corbin, Kentucky is off of I-75. It is the birthplace of KFC.
Really?
Dave Hammer Greenwood says the birthplace of, that's why Linton put that on the schedule then. If it's the birthplace of and, it can't be like normal KFC might be. It's got to be kind of decent if it's the birthplace, right?
It's got to be special. They have to kind of like soup it up a little bit.
I think they're all kind of closing around here. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
They're all closing. Why is that?
No, I mean, I'm assuming because they're not
Is that
doing
Yum?
all that great.
Did the whole Yum thing do that?
It could be the Yum Corporation since, because they own a lot of they own Taco Bell.
They do,
as well.
yeah.
I haven't seen Taco Bell's closing, so.
I always thought the whole combination routine, whether it was KFC and A&W, KFC and Pizza Hut, can you not gross me out anymore, please?
You don't like the combo restaurants?
The combo. You don't want to. No, you don't want to. The only thing you mix together well, besides mixed drinks, was peanut butter and chocolate. That always goes well together.
That's a great combo.
Everything else, don't jack with it.
There is something to be said, though, for being able to go and get a bucket of fried chicken and then also go and get like a quesadilla and a Baja Blast. I'm just saying. That got me through a lot of like high school and college.
When KFC decided to ice the decision between original recipe and extra crispy, I think everybody checked out. True story.
Do they not have extra?
I don't
crispy
think
anymore?
so. I don't go, but I don't think they offer original recipe or extra crispy like they used to anymore.
That's news to me. I mean, I haven't been to a KFC in a really long time.
Somebody tell me. I do not believe it's offered anymore, and if that's the case, I blame that on the reasons why they're all closing. Because some of them just like built new locations and then hired a bunch of idiots and had to close 5 minutes later. Seriously. Thank you, Dave, for that information. On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, he is staked out in Lafayette, Indiana, and already really sick of the conversation going on right here from Golden Black Illustrated. Tom Dienhart joins us. Hello, Tommy D.
West Lafayette, Indiana, John. West Lafayette.
West Lafayette, Indiana. Now, what's the KFC up there look like? Is it?
Not bad. You got me thinking it was the A&W Long John Silver's was a combo.
Yeah, that's not good either. Yeah.
That's not good either. I'm still trying to get over the new Coke fiasco from 1985.
Me too. I remember the day that happened. And I knew it was going to go wrong because we were playing a high school baseball game in Clay City, Indiana. And we roll up there, and they don't have an outfield fence. So to hit a home run, you just hit it out in the weeds like we did in wiffle ball.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. I thought there's nothing going to be right on this day if they don't have a fence to hit a home run over. So
I got to ask you, the one thing KFC, I don't think they serve it anymore, but there's a place called Lee's Chicken. They have these chicken liver dinners. Chicken livers fried with mashed potatoes, a biscuit, gravy, a little bit of coleslaw. I mean, it's outstanding.
You are the only person in the world that's ever suggested chicken livers are good.
You don't see them too often. It's kind of nice. Got a different taste, different textures. Not for everybody, I know.
I will say this. When they used to offer chicken littles, that was the blank right there. That's good stuff. And then I don't think they offer original recipe and extra crispy anymore.
I think you're right.
That's a major malfunction. That's a flaw right there. You got to have that option up there. Not everybody wants to. What do you do? Like just somewhere in between now, I guess?
7 herbs and spices.
Original crispy?
The Colonel's got to be bummed. You guys have any Arthur Treacher's fish and chips still down there?
Nah, they've been gone for a while, but I was digging on them, man. Let me tell you that. It's funny, too, in a world where the whole world basically has been in the past 10 or so years absolutely in love with the chicken sandwich, and you are the inventor of chicken, and you have to close a place 5 minutes after you open it. That's not good. You know.
I guess I didn't know KFC was in such peril. Now you got me worried.
Well, no, I'm worried about it. I think it's got to do with Yum. I think once they built that place down in Louisville and hired Pat Kelsey, that all went to hell in a hand. No, I don't know. I'm just making that up.
Bad Louisville basketball is killing them.
Yeah, so I think it's a struggle. Speaking of struggle, I don't want to suggest it's a it's a struggle. Do you kind of feel like in West Lafayette this season you're paying a penance for what the basketball team's going to do, all in all, with the football program this year? Is that kind of, I mean, I guess that's what a rebuild mode feels like, right?
Yeah, it's been like a 180 with where that hoop team's been, where football's been, but the hope obviously is always eternal here, John, always eternal. And soon, my friend, August 30th, the mighty Ball State Cardinals will matriculate to West Lafayette, Indiana for a high noon kickoff, my friend. Two first-year coaches. Get this. I don't know if you saw my story this week, but the Ball State head coach is a Purdue grad.
Yeah.
Who didn't play football at Purdue. It's a great story. He just dropped his son off here at campus. He's a freshman engineering student. A great guy to talk to, Mike Yurimovich, and Coach U, they call him, but a great guy, and just kind of a fun storyline for the opener.
That's pretty awesome right there. I mean, and I think maybe the program's going to need, you would predict, some really enjoyable storylines, right? And what's been the fan reaction up there to what they believe and is predicted to be forthcoming in West Lafayette with the football program this year?
I think expectations are tapered. I think everybody's just glad the page got turned, right?
Yeah.
The last 2 years were just an utter abomination. And that's putting it mildly, especially last year, 1-11. Oh, by the way, Purdue's riding an 11-game losing streak as 2025 dawns. So the page had to be turned. They got a coach in Barry Odom, who is, we're talking about 180. He's a 180 from the former coach in a lot of ways. Tough-minded, a proven head coach, and buttoned up. I think he's has a much better staff. So there's hope. I'm not sure how good the talent is, but 3-4 wins maybe, and just don't get embarrassed. Don't get beat, John, 66-0 by your rival. Don't lose 66-7 to Notre Dame. Don't lose 52-6 at Wisconsin. Don't get shut out 48-0 by Penn State. Just be respectable, be competitive, and more than anything, just at least be good and competitive against your peer programs, especially.
It's Tom Dienhart of Gold and Black Illustrated, just about ready to embark on yet another Purdue football season in West Lafayette. All right, give the folks out there some players to watch, some highlights, some level of interest individually speaking on that team, Tommy D.
That way you start, right? I think the offensive line, they've a kid from Zionsville, Indiana, Joey Tonona. He was here last year, former Notre Dame player. He had to give up football. I thought he was never going to play football again. Got in a car crash at Notre Dame, concussed. But he's back, and some people on staff think he's the best player on the team regardless of position. So Joey Tonona, number 79, the number one left tackle. They have a Michael Jackson, John. They have a Michael Jackson on the roster.
Oh, really?
A transfer from Georgia, wide receiver. He looks like he's going to be wide receiver number 1.
Yeah.
And, of course, Devin Mockabee from your neck of the woods, so to speak, Boonville, Indiana. He's back. They have another Southern Indiana running back from Castle High School, Chandler, Indiana. Do you know where that is?
Oh, yeah. That's down, that's Newburgh. That's Warwick County. I think that's where they just had that brawl when the lieutenant governor was down there speaking.
Antonio Harris. He's a kid they like a lot.
Yeah.
So that may be of interest to a guy like you, a Southern Indiana backfield combination of West Lafayette, Devin Mockabee, and Antonio Harris. How about that?
Who's the starting quarterback?
It's going to be Ryan Brown. They just named Ryan Brown the starting quarterback on Thursday. No real shock there. He was here, transferred to North Carolina for spring football, got coached by Belichick. Now he's back. He won the job. And they've got a former Indiana State Sycamore here, my friend. Well, you may want to buy jersey number 72. This gigantic offensive tackle. The guy's about 6'8", 330 pounds.
Is that Jude McCoskey?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's him.
Yes.
He's a monolith, as I like to say. Look up monolith.
Oh, well, I don't know if I could even attempt to spell it to look it up properly. Hey, you mentioned a little bit more on Ryan Brown, who was named the starting quarterback Well, yesterday, I think is what you said, right? Was that yesterday?
Yeah, on Thursday. On Thursday, Barry Odom came over after practice, unannounced. We didn't think he was going to talk that day. And that's what he wanted to do. He just gave a quick word. Hey, Ryan Brown's our guy. And I think everybody knew he was going to be the guy. And, he's just one of those, he's more of an intangibles guy. He's very fast, 6'4", well-liked kid. And we'll see how he develops. I think he's going to have some solid talent around him as well, which is going to help.
Yeah, I was just looking at Michael Jackson III right here at wide receiver that you're talking about from Georgia. Now, he was his hometown's Las Vegas. Is there an Odom connection there?
He was at USC. He was at USC where he played.
Yeah, Georgia, USC. But I think his hometown was Vegas. I didn't know there may be some Odom or friends of Odom connection there, maybe.
Oh yeah, there's always usually connections with these guys. Hey, another great story for your listeners. Ethan Trent. Of course, Tyler Trent's younger brother, Ethan Trent. He was the chubby kid pushing Tyler Trent's wheelchair around way back in 2018, and Ethan Trent has grown into a full-grown man, and
that's great.
He's going to start. He's going to start probably at right guard, number 76. Just a great person, and the staff loves him, and he's going to be a guy on every TV game they're focusing on. Ethan Trent. They go through the whole Tyler Trent story, but just a whole other chapter of that Tyler Trent story that really captivated the nation a few years ago.
6'2", 295, Ethan Trent right there.
Nice guy, Carmel, Indiana.
Yeah, so good local story, and I'm sure that'll be talked about a great deal. Well, we'll leave it up to those storylines, and I would think that in this case, in closing here, Tommy D, that any headway is going to be met with favorable enthusiasm from a fan base that was just absolutely dreadfully sick and tired of it a year ago, right?
Yeah, they showed up despite all the misery last year too. I think they should show out again here. It's a huge school. They got to win their first two games. You hate to say those are must wins, but they're must wins. Ball State and Southern Illinois, and then John. USC, the mighty Trojans, come to West Lafayette. That could be kind of a fun game. It produced 2-0. Here comes USC for a 3:30 kickoff in Ross-Ade Stadium. NBC, it could be a fun atmosphere. Probably will be a sellout. And who knows? USC, Lincoln Riley, he's on a bit of a hot seat out there. And anytime those West Coast teams come east, things can get kind of interesting too. So we'll see where they go. But those first two are huge for Purdue, obviously.
Yeah. And then you'll get to the dialogue sooner rather than later with the basketball team. They're going to start the season ranked number one?
I think they will. But the dialogue never ends. You know that. They're talking about Oscar Clough now and Omar Mayer as we speak. Boy, as you can imagine, they're already going off the hook for Boilermaker basketball. Matt
Painter sent me a commercial with Kenny Powers and Stevie Janowski in it the other day. Like randomly sent this to me. I go, that's awesome. Another reason to like him as much as we like him. Yes.
You got to send that to me. I've just been watching a lot of Kenny Powers lately.
Oh, isn't that just great stuff? That cookout at Principal Cutler's cookout when Cutler got drunk. And that stripper hit Kenny Powers in his face, got dunked in that dip on the table.
Man, I love the season where he's playing in Myrtle Beach. It's a fun season.
Yes. When he's at Mexico. Oh, it's such good stuff. The best scene of all time, and I think Matt agrees with me on this, the best scene of all time was Kenny and Stevie in jail in Mexico. And Stevie couldn't help. He had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the jail cell. Oh, my goodness. Stop watching me. Stop watching me. Oh, it's great.
Yeah. And I'm sure you've seen Vice Principals, right?
I have. Oh, yes, I have seen that. Yes, that is really good, too. Agreed.
One. Yeah, it was just a lot of fun. But, yeah, good laughs and always a good distraction to make me laugh before I go to bed at night.
Got it, my brother. We'll be in touch a lot this season during football and basketball. Tommy D, have a great weekend.
I appreciate it, buddy. Be good.
Tom Dienhard, Gold and Black Illustrated. A little primer there for you with Boilermaker football in mind. Some storylines to keep watch for when they start that season. Don Fisher's going to provide the IU angle. They have a new field name, Merchants Bank. Stirring the echoes of the old school green machine. Anybody have a green machine card? I started out with my first bank card, as I mentioned yesterday, James. I was pumping Genie. Genie was the bank machine, and you always say, I got to go pump Genie.
That sounds like...
It doesn't sound great, does it?
Yeah. Sounds like there's a different meaning there.
Yeah. So, yep, had to get our money out of Genie. The green machine was one of the first, too. Don Fisher, top of the hour. You and I, rest of the way. We've got the text line working, 317-239-1070 or 239-1070 on the phone. We'll get to you and more coming up. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Listen here. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Now go away.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
This date in 1967, James, this incredible, this unique voice was born. He is no longer with us. But the legend lives on of Lane Staley of Alice in Chains right here. My goodness, did you decide to play this song? One of the best that highlights his range of voice. Crank this up. This is Them Bones right here, James. Alice in Chains. Oh. That's awesome. R.I.P. and a sky point and a happy birthday to the late Lane Staley. Text line 317-239-1070. Here it is, JMV arrived today. Speaking with my wallet. If the Ursay sisters fire literally everyone and put someone who proves that they are competent at general manager, I'll consider coming back. Life's too short to hate watching your team play. Jeff with a G, which is weird. I was going to pronounce it Geoff. I'm just going to say Geoff. That's Geoff to me. There's no way. Jeff is not pronounced with a G. Geoff has a Bills jersey on. Geoff is a Bills fan.
Looks like he's rocking the Josh Allen.
Until further notice. Hey, JMV. With all this drama going on with Richardson, the reports about the preparation last year and et cetera, what does that say about the coaching staff and management and the building? Good teams, management, don't let that type of stuff happen. At some point, Ballard has to be held accountable as well instead of surviving constantly. Hey, Alex, I've said this before. The disappointment does not lie with me with Daniel Jones starting at quarterback. The disappointment is going into year 3, week 1, and these same guys don't have this guy ready to start for the Colts. In year 3, week 1, can't start. Can't beat out a guy that's 20 games under 500. That's an indictment on the entire organization, not just the quarterback, but the entire organization. That's what, to me, is as disappointing as anything else. Daniel Jones, whatever, we'll watch and see what happens. But the fact you guys picked this guy in 2023 and he can't be ready in year 3 and week 1, provided with your guidance, your leadership, your enthusiasm, your knowledge, your coaching skill, and he's not ready, it's on you as well as him. That's the most disappointing aspect of this. Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, and your calls coming up on this Friday, night 1 of high school football, and we've got you covered. 93.5, 107.5, The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Son, you got a panty on your head. Just drive fast, eh?
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Oh, crank this up. Is this Lionel Richie? Where would you rank this song in the catalog of Lionel Richie / the Commodores? This is Lionel Richie and Dancing on the Ceiling, James.
This is definitely up there for me.
See, I would have to think that most Lionel Richie fans would not have this ranked very high.
I love this song.
I think most Lionel Richie fans view this as cheesy. I think. I know, it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, everybody hates We Built This City by Starship.
See,
and they hate that, but I don't mind.
Maybe it's just because, this was well before my time, but I think the cheesiness is kind of part of the appeal to me.
Dancing on the Ceiling. My favorite Lionel Richie song, this is a true story right here, non-Commodores, would be You Are the Sun, You Are the Rain that makes my life this foolish game. Don Fisher is going to join us coming up in a minute. I didn't want to wish a happy birthday to an awesome girl, the daughter of Mike and Nicole Wells. You know Mike Wells from this show. Layla Wells today turns 16 over there in the burg of Brownsburg, Indiana's finest. Layla Wells is 16 years old today. We love Layla. So happy birthday to Layla Wells. Hey, make sure your dad, this is 16. We're not jacking around on this. He's got to be spending some cash. I don't want to have the Mike Wells getting over cheaply. Hopefully Mike Wells is spending something that is very car buying worthy. Don't let Pops get cheap on you here, Layla. Happy birthday to Layla Wells over in Brownsburg. She's 16. Don Fisher in a second. JMV, this from Kyle, season ticket holder since the Mayflower. The FUBAR in year 3 at quarterback stings even more when we get a season ticket holder price increase for one less home game. Yeah. Hey, here's what we got for you. Here's your return on investment. JMV, I was on hold but had to hop off. I'm driving my 10-year-old son to Holland, Michigan for a soccer tournament. Hope you're doing well. And the knee feels good, man. The knee feels great. I hooped last night on the worst floor of all time. It's the Field House at Center Grove, and it's that all-purpose floor bullcrap that sucks. Like rubber or something. Because you don't put hardwood down because I guess you got all this other stuff going on top of it, but it sucks. Neil, the knee feels great, though. Thank you very much. Shout out to you, Evan McDowell. Northern Indiana, where the reception sucks. Well, I'd get in trouble if I got too deeply into that, but you know how I feel about that. Not so much even Northern Indiana. Northern Indiana, Southern Indiana, Hamilton County, Hancock County. Don't get me started. JMV, Richardson is not good enough, but I will also tell you this. Neither have those that are supposed to be coaching him up. Sorry. That's the way that it is. These guys all know what they're getting into when they get into it. It's from Heath. JMV, the football team that's Linton, the Miners that are traveling to Corbin, Kentucky, could stop by the, is it Bucci's? Or Bookies? What the hell is that called? That place where everybody goes and takes pictures in front of some beaver's face? There's one in Richmond, Kentucky, right off of I-75 on the way to Corbin. Thank you, Heath. Is it Bucci's or Bookies? I don't want to go someplace where I feel compelled to have to take a picture in front of some beaver's face. It's like Bucci's, right?
I've missed the last
Buc-ee's.
10 seconds.
Buc-ee's.
Bucci's?
Looks like Bucci's to me. Buc-ee's. Everybody that passes one, you got to stop and get your picture taken in front of the beaver's face.
You've heard of Buc-ee's before today, right? Like have you ever not
I've
seen
never
it
been
spelled?
there.
Oh.
Just give me 7-Eleven, brother. I'm not big on. I'm just 7-Eleven. I'm good.
I mean, I'd take Wawa over Buc-ee's, but neither one of them are too high up in my book.
See, I live down in Bargersville where all we have is like Speedway, which is kind of half-assed 7-Eleven now, right? You get some 7-Eleven stuff inside Speedway. Hey, I'm not going to be done until we get Starvin' Marvin's back.
I don't even think I've heard of
You don't even know what Starvin'.
No.
Hey, somebody explain at 317-239-1070 on the text line. Starvin' Marvin. Starvin' Marvin's convenience store to James on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Hopefully he has made reservations at our table for me and his lovely wife, Susie, later on this evening, so they can watch me drink 15 beers. Voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fisher. Are those reservations etched in stone, or are you going to go watch the kid coach a little bit tonight?
Unfortunately for you, we are going to go watch the kid coach football tonight at Edgewood.
Oh, son of a gun. What am I? Who am I going? Nobody else will watch me drink 15 beers in front of them. Only you guys.
Well, you know what? When he's coaching football and I got a chance to go see him, I got to do that. You know what I mean?
You do. Hey, who do the Stangs have tonight? Is it on the field of hell, the red field tonight?
They are on the red field tonight, and they're playing Mitchell.
Oh, wow. Well, they should beat them by 100.
I know. But here's the problem with that. You know that the Stangs have struggled a little bit the last couple of years under the tutelage of one Scott Fisher, but this ought to be the year that starts to turn around. And at this point in time, I've warned him that if you don't get it done in year 3, you may be in trouble.
Oh, no. You didn't. You had that conversation with him. Ooh, man.
I mean, they're gonna win some games this year. I know that. They had a bunch of sophomores last year that have beefed up a little bit, and those kids played a lot last year as sophomores, and they got pounded around. I know that they're tired of being pounded around, so we're going to see if this team isn't a lot better after going through strength and conditioning in the off season. And obviously, I think Scott has got. I think he's got a bunch of kids that really have bought into the program and want to do well. And I think they probably will start the turnaround this year.
Voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fisher. He's on his way to Ellettsville. So say hello to him if you're down there in the field of hell, the red field at Edgewood, coming up later on tonight. I will tell you this. Mitchell hasn't won a football game since the bus-making company left town. So I think you're all good.
I think they are, too. I think they'll win tonight. I don't want to put Mitchell down because I have no idea how good they might be after a couple of bad seasons that they've had. That's the only team that Scott's team was able to beat the last 2 years. So, and I mean, they did beat 2 teams the first year, but they had to forfeit the Mitchell game the first year he was here because they had an ineligible player that played that game, and they didn't know it until the season ended.
Oh.
And so they had to forfeit that win. So that meant that they only won 1 game that first year, and now, of course, they won, I think, 2 or 3 last year. But this year ought to be the turnaround. They ought to probably at least win 5. And if they don't do that, like I said before, I've started to tell them that if you can't get to that number, you may be in trouble, boy.
I explained this with my high school, Eastern Green, and I love how they schedule Springs Valley out of the gate because you can lose by 50 and then go gamble at the casino right across the road, which is a plus for everybody that goes down there. But hey, Don, those are hard jobs, man. Those are hard jobs. And like what Owen Valley did the year before last, and I think that guy is now in Avon. I believe that to be the case. But, I mean, those are – you have to take advantage of those seasons because it is really tough to consistently put that together down there. And if you can, it's even more special to those folks in and around that area. It really is.
That's exactly right. And I'll tell you, Scott will tell you this too, that there is no question the people in Ellettsville have really rallied around his program, believe that they're going to get it turned around. Scott started a booster club when he first got here, and those people are all bought in, and the kids are bought in too. It's going to be a good program. There's no doubt in my mind about that because I know Scott's a good football coach and always has been. And there's little question that it'll get turned around. It's just a matter of time. And obviously this from my perspective, this would be the year to get it started because he's got a bunch of kids that played as sophomores last year, and they're now juniors, and they've gotten bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
And they should be able to compete for sure.
And then the dynamic with the parents. Hopefully you have good parents, which I think is as important nowadays as it ever has been. Now, is our good friend Lance Ringler on the school board down there? That all?
I don't know anybody on the school board, and Scott would probably tell me that I probably need to meet some people so that he has a little more influence on his side. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, there's no doubt.
I'm not about to get involved in any politics, just so you know.
Well, we've talked about my daughter before. She's 15 and goes to Center Grove and plays basketball, and I refuse to get involved. Like, if they're raising money and she needs some money raised, I'll do that. But as far as I said, this is all you all the time. I don't care. I mean, I care, you know what I mean? But I'm not getting involved in it. So I'm not. Right. I mean, I'm not getting involved with a bunch of jackassery. So I'll watch and go, and if you need me for your support, I'm there. But this is all up to you, not me. I'm not playing. But,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
How that it is. No, I thought about Ringler because he had one hell of a TikTok video I saw earlier today. I didn't know if I was impressed or embarrassed for him, our mutual friend Lance Ringler. A TikTok video.
What's he doing? With it?
He and his wife Missy Arthur is one of the greatest female golfers in the state of Indiana ever. I mean, just a phenomenal golfer, as I'm sure that you know.
Right.
I think his son and his wife, and they did a takeoff of Lover Boys, loving every minute of it on TikTok, and I think he put more time and effort into that than he has in like 3 years of officiating.
I'm sure he is really happy with you making that statement.
Wow, man, that took a while. Maybe if you put that much effort in, to what you're doing officiating, then we may have something. No, actually, he's a good dude. So, as you can tell by me describing him. Hey, so we're getting closer and closer to the start of the season. So, is it going to flow the Merchants Field at Memorial Stadium? Is that going to flow off the tongue?
Merchants Bank Field. No question it'll flow off my tongue because that man is giving them a lot of money for a long time.
Oh, what's the price tag, Don? Do you have the figure?
I believe it's reported $50 million over.
Whoa.
I don't know what the time span is, but over $50 million over like maybe 10 to 15 or 20 years. I don't know what it is exactly, but yeah, it's a significant chunk of change. That's why it's going to be Merchants Bank Field for a long, long time.
I'm surprised because you're such just a historic legacy there, that you're not sponsored. How are you not sponsored?
Look, man, I'm just glad to have a job, so don't be screwing me up.
No, the voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fisher, is brought to you by. I'm giving somebody, there is some sales dork right now that's going, oh, that's a great idea, and writing that down. I guarantee it.
Yeah, let's try to keep me out of that era of radio.
Wow, that's a good chunk of change, and it is a different. There was a point in time. Remember, Don, you and I would be sitting here for 5-10 minutes, going, "Oh, I can't believe they're doing this," but you sponsor anything and everything now because finances are so much a part of the equation. That's a part of winning. That's just the way that it is.
That's exactly right, and. Mike Petrie, who is the chairman of Merchants Bank in Indianapolis, and it's a phenomenal company. They are, when I first came to Indiana in 1973, my bank was Merchants Bank, and they had the Frog and all that kind of stuff. But they got out of they sold it to National City, I think it was, and then I stayed with National City after Merchants, and then I think they went to PNC. I'm not sure that's the correct trajectory or not. Anyway, long story short, Mike Petrie is the chairman of Merchants Bank, and he and his organization decided to pony up this money. Mike's always been a huge IU guy, and he does tremendous work. There's no question about that. I give each other a lot of crap about golf and how many strokes he's going to get, all this kind of stuff. But we have so much fun with him, and he's just a phenomenal person on top of that. And he's a huge IU person, and one of those people that loves Indiana University and reveres it. And obviously he's the guy, and his group are the people that put this package together, along with Scott Olson, the athletic director, and a lot of other people were involved in it. Kevin Van Roy of the varsity club, and obviously Pam Witten, the president of IU. So these people went to work. They got it worked out, and the signage took place yesterday, I think it was, and they had a big press conference today.
That's great. And I remember Merchants, if you were a part of Merchants for a long time, you had a Green Machine card back in the day, didn't you?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I did.
So
and it's still a green. They still have the Frog as their mascot, you know. And the Frog was there today at the press conference.
Well, the Frog was there, huh? Yeah.
Yeah,
Boing. Hopping to Merchants Bank. Well, it used to be such a significant part of the television broadcast, too. I mean, it was right there front and center back in the day with Farm Bureau Insurance and Amex Coal Company as well, if you remember here locally. So,
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
That's good stuff, and stuff that is just the world in which we live. Also the world, Don, in which we live is a lot of new faces in a place that had a great deal of success a year ago. We get closer and closer to the start of the IU football season. From what you've witnessed in practice since your return from Puerto Rico, what's standing out to you as of late in preparation for the start?
Well, I think the one thing that I've seen a number of practices, and I think the one thing that sticks in my mind here at the outset is that we have maybe one of the better offensive lines that we've ever had in Indiana in terms of depth and quality of player. I think they've got a solid offensive line and a good offensive line maybe for the first time since the Bill Mallory era, if you know what I'm talking about. And honestly, that's saying something because we've had a few good offensive lines since that era, but I think this is probably one of the best that Indiana's had in a while. And they're going to need that because defenses have gotten more, there are more quality defenses in Big Ten play than you're going to see in most places in most conferences. And it's going to be a challenge. But I do think that this offensive line is really good. I think Indiana's defense is going to be really good under Brian Haynes, who's been the coordinator forever under Sig. And I do think that they're going to be good, but I think they've got a couple of question marks in the defensive line this year that until we see them play, and I don't think the first three games are going to tell us a great deal in that regard because I think Indiana's just better than the three teams that they'll face, but it'll give us an idea of what to look for in that regard. That's the one area I think that is a little bit of a question mark, and it's not the guys at the defensive end spots. It's the guys in the interior that are new there, and I think they've got a couple of really quality players there, but will they be as good as what we saw last year with C.J. West and James Carpenter on that defensive line? And those two guys are gone, so these guys will have to prove themselves.
It's Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, on his way to Ellettsville for Edgewood and their opener at home against Mitchell. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I don't think we've talked too much about the wide receivers. Certainly we focused in on Mendoza and how he looks coming from Cal and going to be under center for Cignetti and the Hoosiers this season. But what about this wide receiver? You got guys back, talented guys back. How does it compare to what we witnessed a year ago with that group that caught passes from Curtis Rourke?
I think the wide receiving core, like last year, is probably the deepest position group on the football field. for Indiana. Elijah Surratt's back. He is tremendous. Omar Cooper's back. He is tremendous. E.J. Williams, who has not played very much in his career in Indiana because he's had injury issues, but he is as healthy as he has been in his career at IU, and he is a special player if he is able to stay healthy. And he's a big receiver. I think he's 6'2", 6'3", someplace in that neighborhood, has really good hands. And if he stays healthy, then you've got those three guys. You've got a kid named LeBron Bond, who I've been really impressed with, who's a true freshman. And this kid is not very big, but he is tough. He makes all the catches. He does a tremendous job of running with the football after he catches it. For a freshman, I think he's really going to help him. They've got a kid named Charlie Becker, who I think is a redshirt sophomore this year. He's one of the fastest kids on the team. He's about 6'3", someplace in that neighborhood as well. Another tall receiver there. And they've got other guys, too. The tight end, Riley Nowakowski, is a kid from Northern Illinois that they are really high on at the tight end spot, who's a good receiver. He's kind of like Zach Horton was last year, kind of a guy that's a glue guy around that tight end position that helps block and can catch the football. So, honestly, they've got all the tools. They really do, in my opinion. It's just a matter of getting out there, playing against who they're going to play against, and the schedule's much tougher, as we know. And, again, those first three games, they'll probably try to work out the kinks and so on and so forth, like all teams do in their first few games of the season. And then the real test will come when they play Illinois that first game in Big Ten Conference play. So there's still a lot of question marks in the sense of how good this team might be. But I have a gut feeling that Sig believes that this team's going to be very good. And in that context alone, if he's confident, then I'm going to be pretty confident too.
Yeah, it's Don Fisher with us. Are you guys going to go to the Village Inn after the game?
Probably not. Not tonight. I don't think so.
No.
Actually, where am I at here? I'm going to eat.
Where are you?
I think I'm going to go and have a hamburger. Hold on a second. I got to ask a question here. Hold on a second. I gotta look. Yeah, the Hoosier Bar and Grill.
The Hoosier Bar and Grill?
Yep.
All right. Where the hell's this? In Ellisville?
It's right next to the IGA. You know where the IGA is?
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly where you are right. Oh, yeah. You're right
That
there in the
little
middle of it
shopping
all. Yeah. The Hoosier Bar and hell, I thought maybe you would just slide by Kenny's Tavern. You might. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know all the places in Ellisville like you do, John.
The last time I went in there, I may have had my ass whipped. I'm not sure.
Well, it doesn't sound like a place I'm going to frequent. Then.
The Hoosier Bar and Grill. Well, you're going in right. Well, tell us how the food is there. It may not be our table and our place, but tell us how the Hoosier Bar and Grill is next week, okay?
Actually, I think it's a pretty good place. My son took me in there last year, I think, one time. I think it's the name. I couldn't remember the name of it until I turned around and looked at the sign over behind my back. So, at any rate, I know they have a pretty good burger. I know that for sure, and that's why I'm going to order.
Well, if you're choosing that over Wee Willie's West there in Richland Plaza, it's a big deal for sure.
I understand. I understand.
You got it. All right. Hey, best of luck to Scott. You guys have a great night. And when you're ready to hit back to our table, I'm right there with you.
Well, I appreciate that, John. And we will definitely do it again here shortly.
You got it. You guys have a great night.
See you, bud.
So, Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, he is going into the Hoosier Bar and Grill. Anybody been to the Hoosier Bar and Grill in Ellettsville? It is right there next to the IGA in Richland Plaza. I believe there's a pizza. Is it Pizza X now and not Pizza Express anymore, right? Wee Willie's on the west side there, or at Ellettsville. The Ellettsville True Value is right there in Richland Plaza, James. Low Bob's Discount Tobacco.
Oh. It was Low Bob's?
Low Bob's.
Wow.
I know the Ellettsville True Value very well. Now, if I were in Ellettsville, there's the pizza pantry My kids love Pizza Pantry. I think started in Spencer. My kids love Pizza Pantry. So well done. Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers. And we'd mentioned now that's the second time he talked about really the offensive line being as good for IU this season with his prediction and his thoughts as he has seen it in a long time. That's good. Quick break. We'll come back. You and I on the other side. We're going to get another fantasy football player. So let me know. 317-239-1070 inside the text line. Or you can tell me any way you can get to me. At JMV 1070 on the social media platform X. And some calls at 239-1070 to get us to Colts Happy Hour, top of the hour. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
JMV.
If peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Crank this up, James. 1982. Do you recognize this? California knows how to party.
Oh,
Listen,
I actually do.
In the city. In the city of good old Watts. In the city. What song uses this as a sample from the 1990s?
Oh, God, I can't even think of it right now.
Come on now. Who's got this? You do have elements, too, of Roger Troutman and So Rough, So Tough. This is a great song. This is Ronnie Hudson, West Coast Pop Lock from 1982. And the most notable elements you hear would be that of Tupac and Dr. Dre and California Love.
Yes, you are correct.
There you go.
It just came to me.
Now, that is a part of the sample they use in that song. There's another part of the sample that may surprise you that we'll play. I don't know why I did that. I was just thinking about it because I am going to play this tomorrow night of the JMV Takeover. I hadn't heard that in a long time, and then I heard it the other day, and I thought, man, a little bit of early 80s funk is good. You know, normally you can do Kool and the Gang, the Gap Band, Brothers Johnson, Earth, Wind, and Fire. But when you get a little bit deeper in early 80s funk, you're going to find Ronnie Hudson and West Coast Pop Lock, which is awesome, as you can tell right there. Now, that'll come up tomorrow night of the JMV Takeover. And by the way, the second part of the sample of California Love, I'll remind you of, James, coming up here the next break, and we'll do that. How about that?
Sounds like a plan.
We've got a lot of people in. By the way, I did make a mistake, which is not a rarity, unfortunately, on this show here. JMV, I believe Portland, Kentucky is the original home of Colonel Sanders and is where KFC was invented. I think the first one was Salt Lake City, but it originated around Corbin, Kentucky right there.
Yeah, it was the first, I think, franchise was Salt Lake City.
I was inaccurate. Original and extra crispy still are options at KFC locations that are still open. JMV, I'd bet your old Odin meat locker sold a lot of beef stick packages for the road trips down to Linton or from Linton to Kentucky. It's Brian and Lafayette. Probably right there. The reason why I brought that up is Linton, the Miners, top 5 in 2A this season. They open up in Corbin, Kentucky, which is about as appropriate as Greene County meets KFC in Corbin, Kentucky. It's perfect. JMV, no mention of HSE. I do believe that Bob brought it up a little bit earlier. Right? HSE and Carroll? I believe so. When we talked to Bob Lovell. A little background. Number 1 to start the season in 6A, Brownsburg. Spalding, a team out of Maryland, James, that they're playing, ranked 33rd nationally. Brownsburg and Spalding. JMV, hindsight being 2020, knowing what we know now, what should the Colts have done in the draft? Levis was a bust, so what would have been the best course of action? Thank you. That's a daily listener. I've said this before, too. Like anything? Like anybody? Whether you go defensive line. I mean, for example, I think that was a Joey Porter Jr. draft. Anything. Anything in hindsight would have been better because you drafted 4th overall, and this right now is a massive bust. And it's going to go down as an all-time massive bust. So I really don't care if, obviously, their focus was a quarterback. but you don't get a do-over. And you really don't get to explain yourself. You do it, and it doesn't work. It's a massive failure, and you have to own it. And right now they're owning it. They're owning it by starting Daniel Jones. But, yeah, there's nothing, and I mean nothing, that you're going to be able to say. Anybody else that is useful on a team, there has been zero use to this point for Anthony Richardson. So therein lies the problem. And I know people like to, and again, I'm not on this guy for sending this. I mean, it's a good question to ask, but it doesn't matter. Anybody else, anybody that was useful, anything you can find, again, on the defensive line, anything you can find at linebacker, anything you can find in the secondary, because maybe if you find other means and other measures, you don't have to do other things further down the road. And you can concentrate again on the quarterback. I know it sounds unfair. It's just an absolute. And these guys all know what they're getting into when they get into it. If you blank up a top 5, especially pick like that, to the degree in which they have, to where we are right now, you're going to have to pay for it. I mean, listen, literally anybody. I know it's unfair, but in their world, it is. I mean, wide receiver, I think that was a wide receiver rich midway through draft. Wasn't that the Zay Flowers, the Jordan Addison, the Smith and Jigba draft? I think for wide receivers, you had some defensive players. I think everybody was kind of lured away from Jalen Carter, but anything else. Again, it is an absolute. It's an inexact science in what you're going to get, and oftentimes this happens. But you rarely, if ever, get a do-over. They're very fortunate you're getting a do-over right now and getting the opportunity for it, because this is a rarity, to say the least. So hopefully that makes sense. I would like to put it a different way, alas, you cannot. I would also like to tell you this. I think I saw this on the inbound today because the roads downtown are so jacked up with construction. So I came up Meridian, and Clayton Anderson's Country Bar is putting the signage out front right now. I believe we're about ready for the soft opening, and it's not going to be too long until we're doing a show at Clayton's Country Bar, which is right down off of, what is that, Meridian and Meridian and Maryland, maybe? Clayton's Country Bar, the old Hard Rock Cafe. We went to an incredibly soft opening, if you will, back during the WNBA All-Star Weekend here, and you can kind of see what they were doing, but they are officially putting the signage out front today, and it looks outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. So you'll be able to check that out. You'll be able to join us relatively soon doing a live show there. JMV, what are your thoughts on Decatur Central moving up a class after a championship a year ago and starting out against Avon on the road coming up later on tonight? I think the one thing that you'll find, and Bob Lovell and I had a bit of a conversation about this earlier, is the depth of this team is going to be challenged with this schedule, with their new class. But there is a great deal of talent on the Southwest side, no doubt about that. JMV, I'm really appreciating this Old Man Kelsey Nature Hour. Sincerely, Jason V. Old Man Kelsey's Woods, Old Man Kelsey's Creek, Old Man Kelsey's Ocean. Ernest T. Bass and Andy Griffith knew his boundaries, if you remember. All right, 50 in betting, 50 in dining. The Harrah's Hoosier Park race of the day will close out this week of races for you. Hopefully you have your horse, because I would love to see you win and have the opportunity to utilize 50 in betting, 50 in dining, courtesy of Harrah's Hoosier Park Racing and Casino. It is in Anderson. We'll get you set for Colts Happy Hour, get you set for a weekend. Remember, it's an early Colts pregame huddle tomorrow morning. Before we do all that, let's close out the week with the Harrah's Hoosier Park Race of the Day.
Good. So what's the problem?
I don't know.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Crank this up, James. You recognize this sample?
I do recognize it. I don't know if I can't remember the name of the song that it's sampled or that samples it, but I do know this one.
It was all of what I brought up a moment ago, too. I don't know why I'm talking about California Love from 1995, but this is the sample. Woman to Woman by Joe Cocker in 1977 was the sample for California Love.
You did just say that. I don't know why I completely blanked that right there.
I mean, you can definitely hear California Love in that sample right there, can't you? Those are things you will only find out on this show, like the winner of the Harrah's Hoosier Park Race of the Day, Troy Veter, who is a friend of the show. Shout out to Troy, the winning horse, High Speed Swan, $340 on a $2 bet. The $2 exacta was $15.80. The 50-cent trifecta, $23.10. 50 in betting, 50 in dining to Troy from Harrah's Hoosier Park Racing and Casino, Tuesday through Friday in the 5 o'clock hour. We have ourselves a horse race that we play for you. You get your horses beginning at 3, and somebody's going to win 50 in betting, 50 in dining in the Harrah's Hoosier Park Race of the Day. By the way, racing going on now through November at Harrah's Hoosier Park Racing and Casino in Anderson. I also, before I get to Ike's call, wanted to shout out my friend Mike Burris from GC in Owensburg. He is the new varsity assistant at Perry Meridian High School. I don't even know who the head coach is, Coach McFarland. But the Perry Meridian High School varsity assistant, Mike was an assistant at UIndy this past year, and we know how all that went down. And he is the varsity assistant now at Perry Meridian High School, which means you guys are always asking me, hey, where can I go and play in pickup games with you? This will, I'm assuming, become a pickup game destination once again. It used to be with Mark Barnheiser, and then he left, and it wasn't because people wanted to stop playing there. Then our good friend Bronson McDuffie, who was an assistant when Mark James was over at Perry, he started opening up a little bit, and then he stopped, and we stopped there, but I believe that Mike Burris will fire up Perry Meridian again so we can get in there and hoop. But more so than that, congratulations to Mike, varsity assistant down at Perry Meridian High School on the south side. All right, 239-1070 is that number. My man Mike, or Ike, I should say, has been on hold. Ike, how are you, sir?
What's up, JMV?
Good to hear from you, Ike. Go ahead.
Hey, I was going to call in to say the same thing they told Coach Wrap-Up. At this last game, they don't let the people that's already made the squad play. That's the reason why Air ain't going to be out there. And they're always trying to make the team. This is the last game, so that's what you're going to see Saturday. But about that Orange Juice Jones, when I was a DJ and the women couldn't stand that song.
Yeah, it hits. It has a little different impact, but the ladies didn't like the song back in the day, Ike.
No, they used to roll their eyes, mumble and grumble. They couldn't stand it. But then you know, he got one woman put an extra out of that song.
Well, you can't have some alley cat coat wearing, hush puppy shoe wearing, crumb cake that you see her with, and you got to dismiss her after that, don't you? Hey, there were some awesome lyrics. Again, some lyrics that don't transfer to today, but there were still some awesome lyrics.
He comes on too strong. They had a woman that put an answer out to that song.
Really?
I don't know if you know about it or not, but there was a woman that put an answer out to it.
Oh, there was a woman that came up with an answer. What song is that? I'm not aware of that.
You might be able to find it if you look for it.
Is it kind of like the real? Was it kind of like the real Roxanne thing?
No, it wasn't nothing like that. It was similar to I think they had the same music, but
okay.
He was definitely trying to blast him back, but it was sad.
Well, was it from the same year, 1986 too?
I don't think it was the same year. It might have been maybe a year later, maybe 2 years later. But it was an answer.
Well, if I can locate the answer, I'll play the answer. That sounds pretty good too. I like that. I like playing the answer. I can't, like, there's some like music battles I can't play. I've tried to play No Vaseline a couple of times, and I can. It's like it probably has what would you say, 75 words in all in No Vaseline, and I think only like 3 of them can be played on the radio. That's problematic. Yeah.
Well, I'm like you, man. I thought Orange Juice Gold was one of the classics. They had a video out with that too.
Yeah, yes, I remember. I do. I love that. As one-hit wonders go from the 1980s, that is at the top of the list without question right there. It's just great, and everybody still loves it. It's just weird to hear the lyrics, and some people are thinking, well, what's all this stalking going on? And there's a lot of stuff in there. There is. Ike, I appreciate you, man. You have a great weekend.
All right, JMV, you too.
I like that. Somebody tell me what is the counter to that? I don't know what that is. Did you get another participant in the Fantasy Football League?
I grabbed a couple.
All right. The Fantasy Football League, where I guess we're thinking about having the draft on Labor Day evening.
That is the plan right now.
We had a lot of people objecting to that, thinking that I was going to be drunk. Come on now.
I mean, does everybody get hammered the night before they have to go back to work after Labor Day weekend?
I may be hungover. I'll be coming down, as we talked about yesterday. James, great job today. Thank you very much. Tom Dienhart, Golden Black Illustrated. Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers. Bob Lovell, Indiana Sports Talk. You're 32, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Well, high school football. If you want to know about what's going on around the state in high school football, Bob has you covered on Indiana Sports Talk later on. Tonight at Pat Sullivan Hardware and Garden with the free Yeti. Home and Garden Show tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. until 1 across the hall on 93 WIBC. Colts pregame huddle for me tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I'll catch you then. JMV Takeover tomorrow night. B105.7 begins at 6. But it's the Colts happy hour with me coming up on the other side. You guys have a great night. Enjoy high school football, the start of the season. Talk to you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.